Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, as we convene at Boma 2024 in Washington, DC, we find ourselves at a critical crossroads confronting the challenges of meeting Africa's aspirations under Agenda 2063 and the Global Sustainable Development Goals amid ongoing global crises and an outdated global financial architecture which requires urgent reforms. The urgent challenges of climate change, food insecurity, and the post-COVID-19 recovery require a rethinking of the global financial architecture in order to lower capital costs and boost investment in essential sectors to Africa's growth, such as renewable energy, infrastructure development, and trade finance. These investments are critical for Africa's sustainable development. The financial requirements to achieve the SDGs and to achieve Agenda 2063 are substantial, estimated at over 1.3 trillion United States dollars annually, with climate change financing requiring up to $3 trillion annually. Despite these needs, development assistance to Africa reduced by 3.5% in 2022. Borrowing costs have risen, and private sector capital remains elusive. We need a more equitable financial system that emphasizes resilience and social services rather than servicing high-interest debt. Governments across the African continent rely on a combination of internal revenues, market borrowing, and aid for development funding. Additionally, high sovereign borrowing costs driven by risk, misconceptions, and misperceptions, and poor credit ratings lead to significant debt vulnerabilities, with African countries paying markedly higher interest rates compared to those offered in developed countries. With traditional official development assistance at an all-time low, Africa must prioritize strengthening domestic revenue mobilization, as well as strengthen and enhance intra-Africa trade as sustainable financing solutions. With intra-Africa trade set to contribute significantly to Africa's GDP, this is possibly one of the solutions to closing the financing gap in Africa. The private sector plays an essential and an important role in bridging Africa's resource gap for structural transformation. 95% of Africa's infrastructure projects are publicly financed, and Africa attracts only a small fraction of global direct foreign investment. The operationalization of the AfCFTA is the catalyst that we require to enhance Africa's investment climate by establishing a robust framework for governments to undertake far-reaching economic reforms in areas such as the services sector, the manufacturing sector, as well as establishing a positive investment climate. The AfCFTA Protocol on Investment harmonizes fragmented investment regulations across the African continent and promotes economic integration, technology transfer, access to capital, and more importantly, it promotes targeted investment in Africa's industrial development. The full realization of the AfCFTA's potential demands collaboration between the public and private sector to foster shared economic prosperity across the African continent. Continuous engagement with private sector stakeholders, facilitated by AfroChampions, is essential for stimulating investment in the process of AfCFTA implementation. The existing Memorandum of Understanding between the AfCFTA Secretariat and AfroChampions positions us to leverage on our respective mandates to mobilize private sector investment in critical sectors in Africa's economy. The AfCFTA Secretariat, in collaboration with AfroChampions, has initiated the AfCFTA Hub, a digital trading platform that links national, regional, and private digital applications to ensure that we improve market integration and accessibility across the African continent. In this regard, small medium enterprises are a very important investment asset class. Today's engagement is therefore absolutely critical for forming global alliances, attracting international investment, and identifying important sectors for directing investment for Africa's prosperity. I thank you very much for this opportunity, and I wish you very good deliberations.